My best to be fair with people. I'm not perfect at it, but I try, you know. And sometimes the fairest thing you can do for a person is be honest with them. Like, so how many people do you know in your life who are suffering because the people around them let them live in delusion? You know what I mean? I've had to sit friends down and be like, listen, you're gonna have to date who like you. There's no way around it. Sometimes the nicest thing you can do for a person is be honest with them. And if I'm being honest, I feel like Donald Trump might be having one of the worst weeks of his life. This is very, very bad. I mean, this is oof. I've watched people have bad weeks. I watch it. Okay. I've watched people have terrible weeks. There was a dude from my hometown that would ride his bike everywhere, and he got hit by a car and struck by lightning in the same week. He survived both, but wow. Because he was riding his bike, and you know, a lot of cities in the South we don't have enough sidewalk. We really abandoned the entire idea of someone might want to get somewhere in not a car. So he was riding his bike, but there's no sidewalk, and there's also no like bike lane where I grew up. And so there's just like, if you take the service road, it's just ditch and then ditch and then ditch and then ditch. And so then he over here BMXing the ditches going. But then when you do that, you do appear out of nowhere, because the ditch is deep enough where you know you ride, and then there's a little bit of road, then there's another ditch, and then you pick up another ditch, right? You know that's how you get there. But anyone making a left turn on the service road just sees someone on a bike coming truly out of nowhere and sends them flying, right? So he got hit by a car, and the car was turning, so this means it was slower than it could have been, and turned into him. He flipped over everything, bam, 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 landed in the ditch, so at least landed on some grass, right? And then he was all banged up, and then he had to walk the rest of the week until he get his bike fixed, until he healed up a little bit. He had to, walk around town. He was walking around town, and there was a thunderstorm. Which normally, here's the thing, this is like a big Southern tradition, right? Is that when it's lightning outside, nobody do anything. We turn off the TV. Turn off every appliance. Unplug it. Turn off everything. And don't move. I know you inside, don't move. That lightning see you moving from outside, it might want to come visit, all right? Don't move, stop. Be still where you are unless you are moving to unplug something or turn something off. In fact, lay down on the ground so you can be grounded. And sometimes you'll tell people, like someone will like not be from the South and they'll come over and it'll be a lightning storm and you just start turning everything off and they're like, what are you doing? And it's like, oh, okay, you can play with the Lord if you want to, but... I like not being lit up, okay? I'm not even using this blender right now anyway. What point is there for this house to get struck by lightning and then the blender work real good for 6 seconds and then never work again? And so he was walking out in the thunderstorm, and to be fair to him, it was like, what was he supposed to do? I guess lay down. But like, what was he really supposed to do? So he's walking, making his way and everything, and up off ditch, and now he can watch for cars a little easier because he's on foot and stuff, ditch and everything. And then the lightning hit him, right? And it hit okay, the way, I never been hit by lightning before, but the way that it hit him, he did, this is what I'm told, I was not there, but the way the lightning hit him, he did bounce. And I don't know, I didn't know that was possible. I didn't know that could happen, because it didn't seem like being struck by lightning was a buoyancy thing. But yeah, like he basically got hit by lightning, and then he didn't bounce high. It's not like he bounced like a basketball up, but he basically, lightning, boom, and then he went up a little, and then he hit the ground all hot. Charred. And then he had like a scar along the body and everything because struck by lightning. It survived. I've never seen personally somebody get hit by lightning and then get up. I wouldn't. If I got struck by lightning, I'd be like, y'all, you know what? The Lord knows I need a nap. I'm gonna take a nap. Works in mysterious ways. Sometimes you just need to sit down somewhere. What makes you sit down anywhere like being struck by lightning? And so, he boom, boom, boom. And that was trying to get places next 2 days was very rough because he was already banged up from the car and he was crispy. And he still wasn't having the week that Donald Trump is having. This is very bad. All right, in case you're not familiar, Donald Trump, the president was, like minding his business, trying to enjoy the government shutdown ending, right? Which should be, that should be a good day. It should, you shut down ended and everything. And so, he got assigned the thing and he has everybody in the office and stuff. And the night before, looks like the House Dems released these 3 emails that were from Epstein's estate. So it's different. It's different from like if something was subpoenaed and stuff. It's not like something that was like sealed and then is being released. This, I think, works differently where it's just from the estate, right? And so then they release these 3 emails, and the 3 emails are not, they're not Epstein talking to Trump. They're Epstein talking about Trump. And on what should have been a good day. All right, the best way I could describe what happened is I went to a birthday party, and at this birthday party were a bunch of different friend groups. I shouldn't say a bunch, like 2 friend groups. But I don't know if you've ever had this in your life where you have this person who you're friends with who has a bunch of friends, and then you have this other person you're friends with who has a bunch of friends. But it's enough people in general, whether it's because of school or because of work or whatever, it's enough people in general that the people that know them, eventually there's an overlap of people who are friends with this person, but hate each other. They hate each other, or they hate the other friend, but they're part of this friend group, hate the other friend, right? So I was at one of those birthday parties. I was at a birthday party for someone, and the person who hated him the most came to the birthday party. They came because they were invited by our least thoughtful friend, and so having no awareness, least thoughtful friend invites them to the surprise party. And so then we're all like, hey, surprise. And they see this person and they were surprised. And then everybody's waiting for something to pop off and nothing ever did because they hate each other. Like, ooh, they hate is under. It's below the heart. It's behind and underneath. They hate from like the diaphragm, I think. They hate so much. They hate him. Anyway, so they hated the birthday boy a lot. Like, ooh, I wish I hate you. And so then they bring out the cake, and the cake got like one of the candles for every year, and they getting up there, so it's enough candles to light up a room, and put it down. Birthday boy blows them all out. They cut up the cake. We're all chatting and everything in different rooms and stuff. And then the one that hate him, right, leans over to me and he's like, before everybody, was like singing happy birthday and everything, before they like brought out the cake and stuff, I farted in the cake. In my head, I was like, in? In just assumes a level of power that normally you'd say on, but whatever. And that is what the House Dems did to Trump on the day. It's supposed to be, it's not his birthday, but it's supposed to be a good day. And shutdown is ending. It's supposed to be good for, it's supposed to be good day. And so then you see in these emails, they're just not good at all. And it's not like, this is why I would be mad if I was Trump, because it's not even Epstein talking to Trump, it's Epstein talking to somebody else about Trump, right? So it's the equivalent of like, you at home, and your friend did something, got caught, and then your friend comes to your house with the police. Your friend come to your house with the police and go, hey, come on out, they got us. What do you mean us? I was at home. Because the email doesn't even one of the main ones that was making the rounds on the news doesn't even implicate Trump in anything. It just implies that Trump knows something that Epstein knows about what Epstein did that is very bad. That he hasn't told any authorities, but he knows is bad, right? Which doesn't look good. It's just one of those this is bad for everybody. It's what, and I don't know how we got to this place, because Epstein saga has so many episodes. There is a Marvel universe of Epstein updates. It's never over, it just goes deeper. And then this is what the Dems do. Then the Republicans come out, and Republicans are like, all right, but why were the Dems sitting on these emails? Why are they releasing them now? That's pretty convenient, right? Like, why are you farting in his birthday cake? And then, I suppose, to try to show transparency, to try to be like, we're actually the party that wants to get to the bottom of the Epstein thing the most, the Republicans release 20,000 pages. 20,000 pages. I don't know if I've sent 20,000 emails in my life. 20,000 emails, these pages of Epstein talking about everything, talking about Trump, talking about Larry Summers, talking about it's so much. It's so much it makes you wonder, whoa. Why 20,000? It almost felt like they were like, you know what? Release 20,000. People don't read. They won't read it. It turns out people are pretty interested in reading. It turns out if it's an interesting enough novel, people will dive deep into the reading. Because we're in a stressful time where it doesn't feel like things fully matter. There used to, back in the day, there was shame. So if you were in public office, if you were in public office and you did something, or somebody accused you of something, or sometimes it didn't even have to be anything. There was enough shame that you would resign or you would retire from politics in shame because we had shame. People had more shame, right? And I don't know, I'm not gonna blame all of it on social or influencer culture or anything like that, but we have more people than ever that we know about in our own little pockets, right? We have more people than ever that are involved in scandals. It used to be if you were in a scandal, you were either a politician or a Hollywood celebrity. Those were really the only people who could even get into a scandal. But now you could just be an influencer, and even more specific, you could be a makeup influencer and you get into a scandal that only affects the people who watch you, right? And so now we're watching more people than ever try to navigate having a scandal, which has also made scandals more normal. And so now, instead of looking to how we would all expect someone in a scandal to react, we look at how the person reacts. So you go back in time, all Nixon did was listen to some tapes. When you really sum it up, it's yes, the spying and the blah, blah, blah. But it's Nixon himself, just Nixon, listened to a garbled tape that was of no consequence, really. It was that man resigned over. And I know he did plenty other stuff besides. I'm just saying, the thing that when we think of Watergate, when people even really think about what Watergate is or what it meant to people, it was the scandal of the government spying and how the opposition treats each other and everything like that. But when you really look at Nixon, I'm not taking up for Nixon at all. I'm literally just saying that when I watched the documentary, it sounded like he resigned over. And he left. And now there's a scam. There's something happening. And obviously everybody puts it on Trump specifically, and he is our version of it, but it was happening all around the West before this. It was bubbling up. Everything does not revolve around this man. There was something that was happening in lots of different places where politicians were realizing how much they could stress test the trust of the general public, right? You even look at Canada with Rob Ford. Rob Ford was the mayor of Toronto. and Rob Ford smoked crack on camera. This man did just smoke crack on camera. He smoked more crack than I've ever seen anybody smoke on camera. He smoked crack on camera so many times that I think he is the most crack smoke taped person of all time. Lots of crack. And he'd get drunk too. And it would be like, who set up the camera? I guess Rob Ford. Like he just... It was scandal after scandal after scandal. It was stuff he would say. It was videos that would come out. It was stuff that he would say. It was videos that come out. It would just be over and over and over again. He wasn't like turning some new leaf. He was just one of the first people that when they came to him, they were like, were you smoking crack? And he was like, I was not smoking crack. Then in the next video that came out, he's like, oh, it's delicious. Like it, I can't tell you how much crack he was smoking. And just never seen somebody smoke crack like it was candy, right? And like, this is okay. Look, maybe this may be wrong with me, but when I was watching the documentary about him smoking the crack and stuff like that, before they revealed that there were tons of crack tapes, like a ridiculous amount of crack tapes. I don't know if anybody watched all the crack tapes. He has that many, right? But before they revealed that he actually did smoke crack, when he was denied smoking the crack, I was like, I don't know if this dude did this. Like, sure, he's like brash, and sure, he's like, you know, this like wild character. I definitely believe he was getting drunk, and they even showed a video of him drunk. I didn't believe the crack because I had never seen, do you know what I mean? I had just never seen such a heavy set crackhead. You know what I mean? Like he would. I'm just saying, like, he had that plausible deniability from me, because every crackhead I'd ever seen was petite. You know what I mean? Like, I'm all right, fine, whatever. Some of y'all being weird, but you know you've never seen somebody smoke crack and have a cheeseburger. That is not something that happens within the same 5 minutes. No one has crack for dessert. And he was one of the first people. Like, he was actually a little bit pre-Trump, right? People forget about him, but he was. And they came to him and they were like, aren't you gonna resign in shame? And he was like, I don't even really feel any shame. No, I think I'm good. I think I'm just gonna stay. And we still, as a people, in every country this happens in, don't know what to do with that. We don't. We, like, that happens and we're like, oh, I thought you would have some shame. And Rob was like, no, I don't have any shame. I have crack. And it's delicious. Truly, when I tell you, sometimes I can even feel the shame creeping up, but like, shame and crack never meet. They're never in the same room together. So if you feel any of that shame creeping in and you hit a little crack, shame seems to disappear. Oh. Because now you even look at like, with like influencer culture, there used to be this thing, like let's take it all the way back, right? Let's take it all the way back to maybe like the 80s or 90s, where if a tape came out of you in some sort of lewd act, it was immediately shameful. It was like immediately the thought process around it. I'm not even saying whether or not that's right. I'm saying that's what people did, okay? And now you fast forward to today, and something will leak. Maybe someone's nudes leak, maybe a video of them leaks, and then we wait for the person to react to know if we feel shame for them or if we try to shame them. It's all based off their reaction. We look to them to know what to do next. So if something happens, if a tape goes out, if some nudes leak or something like that, and the person's like, oh yeah, that's what I look like, we're like, oh, okay, all right, wow. And not across the board. I'm just saying that becomes the sort of general understanding. But then if that person's reaction is, oh no, you saw me naked, we'll be like, oh, we did. Shame. And so then these 20,000 pages come out, and Wow. Also, not good. Not good at all. Because it's not just Epstein implicating Trump in like other meetings, other times they hung out, other things, other. It's also like Epstein talking real nasty and bad about Trump. Now this is, look, some of it is before their breakup, and then some of it is after. And there have been plenty of people that said, hey, listen, this guy who is no longer friends with Trump, talking bad about Trump after they're not friends anymore, what's that supposed to mean? You know what I mean? Why should that even matter? And it's like, look, I understand where you're coming from, but if he's talking about anything that happened while they were still friends, while they hung out to somebody, that does mean something. That does matter, you know? And he was talking wild about Trump, even saying stuff like, I'm the only one that could bring him down with the stuff I know and everything. And look, this is just me. Just me, all right? I'm not friends with Epstein, glad I wasn't, okay? But I'm just saying, if it was me and Epstein was talking this reckless about me over email with all these people, I'd probably be very upset. I'd get very mad. I'd probably get mad enough to kill him in his cell. I'm not saying that is what happened. I'm saying that's what I might do. Me. I'm saying that's what I might do, but I'm petty. You know? I didn't let you stay in my house and everything. You talking crazy about me in these emails. No. You gotta go. There's gonna be a missing minute in the video. Because that's also what's wild. That's where we left off, you know? Remember where we left off, where there was they released the video and it was hours long and it was missing the most important minute it could miss? Yeah. Remember when there were like no files? Yeah. Remember when Pam Bondi was like, look, there's no files. Don't listen to your memory. I know what I said before, but what I'm saying now is more important. There's no files. Isn't it more convincing that there's no files than there's files? And we were all like, what is she talking about? It's bad. It's bad. You know what's so crazy to me? You know what's so crazy to me about a lot of this stuff is that this is Trump we're talking about. Trump was on trial in New York for like, I don't know, some like real estate fraud or whatever. And this dude, it wasn't looking good. It was looking like he might, get found guilty. And the judge had to give him a bunch of warnings. The judge is over here like, you need to stop talking about this case to the media. You need to stop talking about me to the media. Stop. I don't know what else he was doing. Like, stop doxing the stenographer. What? Like, stop. Just stop. You're talking too much. Nobody that's a defendant in any of my other cases I oversee talks as much as you to the media about this case. You gotta stop. And then Trump for his part, Trump, even to his credit, I'd say, was like in danger of being held in contempt almost the entirety of the case. And the judge was like, I'm gonna hold you in contempt. I'm gonna do it. And Trump was like, do it. No, do it. I want to be in contempt. I bet you won't do it. And then he would tell him, don't go out there and talk to the media about this case. And then Trump would walk up to the first person with a camera he saw. It could be a camera phone. He just walk up. And he was like, judge doesn't know what he's doing. He crooked. Everybody crooked. I'm going to win in 2020. But just nonstop. You got to remember, that's the guy that we're talking about. But that's not how he's acting about this. Which means it must be bad. This dude was in court and wasn't scared. But this man, they reached out to all of these Republicans to try to help stop this petition. right? There's this petition to release the Epstein files in the House, and that petition has to go to the Senate, and the petition, but, he's trying to get it stopped. He's trying to get it killed, like now. Want it killed now, right? Gotta kill it. And so he's reaching out to people who have even been vocal about the fact that they will be on board with signing the petition. Reaches out to like Nancy Mace, Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene. This is the thing. Look, at the end of the day, maybe he did reach out because he just wanted to talk to Marjorie Taylor Greene. Maybe, you know what I mean? I'll be honest with you. If you could put all politics aside in your mind and you hop on the phone with Marjorie Taylor Greene, it will be interesting. You know what I mean? You'll be like, I didn't know about the lasers, Marjorie. If I was ever on the phone with Marjorie Taylor Greene, you know what I would do to keep her on the phone? I would every couple sentences, I'd just go, oh! Let her think she was blowing my mind. Throw in a really every now and again. Calls Marjorie Taylor Greene. Apparently none of them are having it. Apparently. Lauren Boebert even was pressured so much to not sign the petition, she was like, it must be worse than I thought. Y'all barely talk to me. Marjorie Taylor Greene, she didn't put her foot down. Marjorie Taylor Greene has actually really turned on Trump so much that it got Trump's attention so much that Trump has turned on Marjorie Taylor Greene, and they're beefing right now, which is hilarious. That is so funny. The idea that Trump is over here being like, y'all know Marjorie Taylor, he's over here calling her a lunatic, calling her crazy, all this stuff like that. The fact that Trump is over here like, Marjorie Taylor Greene crazy, and we're like, we know. That's wild. What other revelations you got? Did you know Hannibal Lecter wasn't a good guy? I'll tell you as well why Trump's not having a good week. There's been interviews, and there's just been a general discontent with some of what's happening in the country. Trump ran on America First. It's supposed to be Americans first. It's supposed to be America first. But what is happening? And what place is America in? It doesn't seem like there's a one in front of it. Because people point to, how ruthless in the shutdown things got with SNAP, how people are treated, in the country, how America First just sort of feels like a slogan. It doesn't feel like it's really in the agenda. It doesn't feel like what's really happening and everything. And so then you see members of the MAGA movement turning on Trump. And maybe not fully and maybe not forever, but it is happening. There's a swell of discontent with what he's been doing, how the country is right now. There were so many things that were supposed to be fixed on day one. You can talk as much as you want. He's very good at campaigning. He's not good at governing. He's so good at campaigning because campaigning is before you have to. All right. One of the roughest drawbacks with dating, right, is that someone's getting to know you. They don't know you yet, and you can put your best foot forward. You can even try to be the person you're pretending to be, but they're getting to know you, right? And the thing is that early phase where they're getting to know you, the good stuff that happens can also hurt you in the long run. Okay, like my buddy, all right. They had like a fun little, we're gonna cook for our first date, right? I'm gonna go take a little cooking class. And so they go to this cooking class, and there was this jar, and she couldn't open the jar. She was trying with the jar. Trying with the jar. And you can even tell that she was kind of loosening it, but finally she handed it to him, and he goes, immediately, right? Which is great. You did it. But now, you gotta be strong enough to open jars. It looked like that's what you do. No. Ooh, you gotta watch out. Some of the stuff that happens that first time, you in trouble, man. You in trouble if it's the first 3 dates and y'all get into something scary happens. Maybe somebody even tries to mug you or something like that, and you win the fight. Oh, I hope you weren't just lucky. I hope you weren't just lucky, because now my man fight, all right? She gonna tell everybody her man fights. She might even start a couple fights for you. Oh, you want my man to come over here and handle you? In the back of your head, you're like, look, the mugger slipped in a puddle. I mean, I just grabbed the purse back. That's all I did. And like dating to being in a relationship is like what campaigning is to governing. It's wild even to watch some people's reactions. There are some people who have some truly insane and disgusting reactions, or just reactions that are meant to confuse. There are so many people that are like, why didn't the Dems release all this stuff years ago when Biden was president? And it's like, all right, this is the way that records work. There are some things that you could just release outright, like things that maybe you get from an estate or something like that. But then there are things that are part of an investigation, which as long as that investigation is going on, as long as that court case is going on, you can't just release those things to the public. Now that some of these things have been set to rest now, like, you know, obviously like Ghislaine is in jail and everything. And then there are other parts of documents that get redacted, either because they're part of a potential ongoing investigation, or it's to protect the name of a survivor of the abuse or something like that. There's all these different reasons that you could have for when you release things on whatever schedule. But even when people make that sort of argument, I'm like, wait, I can't tell. Are you mad that they are released? Like, what I don't even know what that's meant to accomplish. Why didn't the Dems release it sooner? It's like, all right, it's out now. Isn't that what we're talking about? That's insane. That type of logic would never hold up in like court. You'd never be able to go to court with like, look, if the police care so much, why didn't they catch me sooner? Y'all over here acting like you care. I did it a long time ago. You didn't try that hard to find me. Oh. You see so much of this stuff happening, and you're like, wow, every day he try to move on. Every time he try to move on, it gets worse. 20,000. And 20,003 emails. And I don't know what's gonna happen, because if I'm being honest, like truly being honest with you right now, I know that one of the reasons that Trump is trying to get them to stop in the House from all signing the petition is because then it goes to the Senate, and then if enough people have turned on him in the Senate, it then goes to the president, and he is the president, which means he would have to, and We stopped electing people with integrity a long time ago. So like I don't expect, like truly, I don't expect Trump to sign something that is basically dry snitching on himself. I don't think that would happen.
Dry humping.
Dry humping. But I will say this, I think that there's a very slim chance that it's like Trump's gonna go to jail, or that this will be enough for everyone to turn on him and then just kick him out of office or anything. This is one of those things that is very bad. It's a very bad look. He's panicked about it. People are speculating why he's panicked about it, but it's not the thing that's gonna make him sort of like Nixon up out of here. I'm just being honest with you. And I think that it's easy to forget in all of these different chapters and all of these like extra extensions to the saga that is the sort of Epstein files, that there are real people. There are survivors of Epstein, there are survivors of Ghislaine, that are survivors of all of this abuse and trauma that deserve justice. And the thing that we can do, the thing that we just personally can do, is keep that in mind and hold the people that represent us to account. Let them know that we'll be looking at them for what they do consistently, that we'll be bringing it up, that we won't let it go away. It won't be over just because it falls out of the news cycle. It will not go away. It won't be over. And I think the only thing that we can do as individuals, but collectively together, is just keep farting in his cake as often as possible. Chattanooga, y'all been fantastic. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.